I'm sorry. I didn't see you there. And I still don't see you because I'm staring at a webcam. But I trust that you're there and are watching this. I'm doing a live stream. Just off the cuff, going to do a live stream. And this is going to be for The Town That Cried Wolf. And other questions and answers and stuff that happens. Hello, we already have people in the chat. That's awesome. Yeah, I decided this is the last week officially of the Kickstarter. And so it's like, why not show some behind the scenes of Town That Cried Wolf, the short film, the animation that I am making. And if anyone has questions about it, they can type it into the chat. I will see. Let's see. I am getting a message saying I am a little bit quiet right now. All right. Well, I'll put the mic a little bit closer to my face. Hopefully that will help. And let's see. Volume. Well, I can do a thing. Let's see. There we go. Got a good view of my Kelowna shirt. Okay. Do I sound better? Also, I suppose I could just talk louder. That would also provide more volume. That would work. All right. I'm doing all right. Let's see. I'm getting message. Sorry, everyone. While everyone is coming through, I am getting something about my stream's bitrate is too low. I don't know. People can hear me okay, right? Okay. All right. So, we'll just go through this here. And actually, you know what? Before we start with this, sure, somebody said Duck Muffler. That's a fun... That's a fun username. Sure, ask me a question. Send it in. I will see if I can answer it. Okay, moderate. All right, cool. All right. And while questions are coming in, I am going to switch over to here. Town That Cried Wolf is based on the classic tale, The Boy That Cried Wolf, for those of you who are unfamiliar with what I'm doing here. And the whole idea behind it is that it starts out, as you would expect, where... actually, you know what? How about this? How about I will just let you listen and watch the first third, maybe half of the animatic, so you can get an idea of where this is going and where the plot twist happens. And then I will explain some stuff about where this short film is going. A long time ago, at the base of the snowy mountains, was a quiet town. Beside that town was a cool, babbling river, and across that river was a wide, grassy field. On that grassy field was a flock of sheep, eating to their heart's content, and watching that flock of sheep was a shepherd boy. And that shepherd boy was bored. So bored. The shepherd boy had one job: to watch for any wolves that might come to eat the sheep. However, there hadn't been any wolves in months, and the shepherd boy had absolutely nothing to do. But then he had an idea, a marvelous idea, an idea that would make his day far more interesting. The boy ran to town, yelling, "Wolf! Wolf!" Within moments, shocked townspeople carrying pitchforks and large sticks were running out of the town, across the bridge, and into the field to defend the sheep against the wolves, only to find a flock of perfectly content sheep and one shepherd boy laughing his head off. All of the townspeople knew they had been tricked and walked back into town, grumbling to themselves. All except for one man. He was a candlestick maker by trade, and as he crossed the bridge back into town, he thought to himself, My candlestick business has been failing for months. Everything I tried to do to get people to come to my shop has been useless. And yet this little boy got 100 people to pay attention to him by yelling a single word. The candlestick maker returned to his shop, pondering this. A few hours later, in the middle of town, the villagers were alerted by the sound of someone yelling, "Fire! Fire!" The townspeople quickly gathered buckets of water and dashed to the source of the blaze, only to find a single lit candle in a stand sitting outside of the very intact and unburned candlestick shop. The candlestick maker welcomed everyone. "Hiya, folks! Here's the fire. While you're here, would you be interested in buying some candles?" Most of the townspeople left in a huff, annoyed that they had been tricked twice in one day. But a handful of people enjoyed the humor of the situation, went inside the shop, and bought a few candles. The candlestick maker had his best sales day in months. Next door, the baker watched all of this commotion closely. She was a shrewd businesswoman and could clearly see the potential of this new marketing strategy. The next morning, as everyone was just waking up, she screamed from her shop, "Bear! Bear!" All of the villagers once again grabbed their pitchforks and clubs and ran to the bakery, only to be greeted by a smiling baker holding out a tray with a variety of pastries. "I hope you'll bear with this terrible pun, but I know you're all hungry, and all baked goods are 40% off today." The villagers were annoyed, but it was indeed breakfast time, and the pastries all smelled delicious. The baker, too, had a very successful sales day. Soon, more businesses were getting into it. In the weeks that followed, there would hardly be a day that would go by without someone yelling about one emergency or another. "Lion! Tornado! Killer bees!" But on the eastern side of town, far away from the grassy field, a different kind of conversation was going on. Murmurs and grumblings were sweeping through the town's homes and businesses. All right. I'm going to stop it there. That's about halfway through the short. And what you just saw was the Animatic. This is the moving storyboard that I created in Adobe Animate, used to be Adobe Flash. And this was just to get the feeling of what the short film would be like. Please do not pause. I see you hovering over pause. I'm so invested. Well, here's the thing. Everybody who backed the Kickstarter, and this is where I be all businessy and annoying, has already gotten to see the entire Animatic. And so if I can direct you to the link in this video and go over there, if you could send a few bucks my way, that would be great. But also, that's not the primary reason why I'm doing this. The primary reason why I'm doing this particular video showing behind the scenes, besides just showing off how fun it was to make this short film, is also because I want to get the word out about this, because a short film that nobody sees isn't really a short film, and I want more people to know that this thing exists. I am working on it, and in fact, what you saw here, the animatic version of it, in fact, has a fully rendered already. A lot of this has been created. I haven't finished it yet, though, and in fact, there are a bunch of people who pledged to be members of the town, and so I'm going to be collecting making illustrations and collecting information from all those people to add into the shots here. But what I want to do is show you about how I did this and what it is I'm doing here and all this part of it here. So before that happens, I just want to make sure I'm not missing too many questions. Somebody's asking, let's see, Duck Muffler, will you be doing any more videos behind the scenes on Club Penguin? Yes. If somebody is watching this video about the short film and is not aware that I was a Club Penguin guy, yes, I was one of the creative minds behind Club Penguin, and yes, I will be doing more Club Penguin videos. The next one is going to be about Kart Surfer. I ran a poll about it on YouTube, and that one was the clear winner. So I'm going to give some behind the scenes info on how that was made and how it almost turned out to be a very different game that far few people would have played. So that video, I'm hoping in the next couple of months, maybe that will be the one that I do for the anniversary. Maybe it'll be before then. We'll see what happens. But yes, more Club Penguin videos are indeed planned. Avats, you said Adobe Flash. Yes, Adobe Flash still exists. It's just called Animate now, and Adobe hardly supports it, but it still is like one of the best quick drawing platforms out there. So yeah. So let's see. Okay. So we're going to move from this. You saw the animatic. You've seen little bits of what I'm making in 3D here. So yeah, all of this here. What you are now going to see, let's move over to, let's see, not Clip Studio Paint. We're going to move over to Unity. All right. So what we have here, this, everything that you saw was actually rendered in a video game engine. So the models themselves are made in a program called Blender, which you see here. Here is all of the props that I have in the scene. It's a lot of, the town is made up of a lot of the same kind of house with just different variations of things here. Here's the shops that everyone's in front of. There's background scenery like this wagon over here. Here's the table with the pastries on it. Here are some trees that are in the background, and in fact there are a whole lot of trees in the background of this because it had to look like a town that actually existed somewhere. So that meant I needed to actually make scenery. But believe it or not, this was actually the faster way to do it than trying to draw all the camera angles that I needed for this town to make things work. You can see it from the other direction if you are so interested. But yeah, here you have the town. There's the town hall over here. And dividing the town into east and west across this bridge, right? You have the western side of town, eastern side of town, and then the field out here where the sheep are in. And in order for this to work, let me just bring one up here. All right. For every scene I have in the short, I have created a different set of props, a different set of illustrations. So what we have here, for instance, here's the boy. Here are all the sheep that are sitting out in the field. And the blue line that you see across here is actually the camera move. So at the beginning of the short, well, actually, you know what? You didn't see this because you saw the Adobe, the Flash Animatic version. Let me show you the this one now. This is a little bit of it in 3D. A long time ago, at the base of the snowy mountains, was a quiet town. Beside that town was a cool, babbling river, and across that river was a wide, grassy field. On that grassy field was a flock of sheep, eating to their heart's content, and watching that flock of sheep was a shepherd boy. And that shepherd boy was bored. All right. So that camera move that you saw is the blue line that you see here. The camera was following along that. And Evietz asks again, why a game engine for animation? It was the fastest way. So if I was rendering all of this in Blender or something like that, I would need to actually render things out frame by frame. Game engines just give instant, I instantly know what things look like, how things are moving, especially because I'm not doing a lot of complicated character moves in this. Unity, the game engine that I am using, has this whole setup called Cinemachine that allows you to do a lot of complicated camera tricks and things like that. Within Unity, I could handle the lighting and the rendering and some of the effects work, and it just seemed like the fastest way to do things. In the future, I'm thinking of learning Blender well enough that I can just do it all in there, because there is a fast rendering engine in there that might give me the same kind of effect. But I've been using Unity since 2009 as a video game engine, and it was just the most comfortable platform for me to do this in. So greetings from Brazil. Hello Alexandra Filho. Good to see you. All right, so let's move along here. Okay, so what I have here, I have this scene, and I can make my camera moves go through this scene. Let's go to another one here. Let's go to, I don't know, randomly, what is this one? This one, okay. So here is the scene of a whole bunch of people leaving. Now, the lighting isn't correct on them. I changed the materials around to make the lighting correct. But this is when everyone is leaving the scene. And I have different states of this. So I have, let's go, here we go. There's 22C, but I also have 22B when they're closer to the camera here, and 22A, all right, where they're all standing here. And then in Premiere, in my video editing software, I can actually do crossfades between the different scenes, and that works with moving scenes as well. So I'm actually doing all of my fading from one image to the next in my video editing software and getting all of my footage in Unity. All right, let's see what else we have here. Right, okay, so later on in the short, there comes a point where the mayor of the town is realizing that the townsfolk are just getting angry at each other, but he doesn't know why. And so he calls for a meeting of the west side of the town and the east side of the town to get together. And this is my shot layout for that scene. But right now, the wrong character is sitting there. That is a shot of the blacksmith, and I don't want the blacksmith there. So what I'm actually going to be doing right on stream here is replacing him with an illustration that I have already created. And let's see if we can find it here. Town That Cried Wolf. Animatic Images 2D Finals. Here we go. So here are a bunch of the images that have been made of the different characters, the cutout characters. And right here we have, this is one of the people who backed it on Patreon, but also Cody. He's the producer of this project. He gave me some initial funding so that I could get started on this without completely eating nothing but ramen noodles while I was working on this. And so he is the mayor of the town, so I need to bring him into Unity. So what I have here is a whole bunch of images of everybody. And now I'm going to bring in mayor. Down here, here is the mayor, as you can see on this side. All right, but we have a white background there, and I need that to be transparent, so we're going to turn it to sprite, I believe. Let me just make sure that's what I'm doing with everything else. No, I'm doing default 2D input texture. Right. Default 2D input texture, alpha is transparency. All right. There we go. Let's see. Aaron Gaming Dev. As a Unity user, the fact that this is animated and made in Unity is so interesting to me. Honestly, Unity as a game engine really has been trying to push into this space for a while. It was actually getting a little bit annoying when a new version of Unity would come out, and instead of promoting it with a game, they would promote it with a short film that the studio had made using proprietary software that the rest of us didn't have access to yet. But yeah, making short films in Unity is absolutely something that you could do. As a matter of fact, Another animator, if you were a fan of Club Penguin and you remember the Star Wars Takeover Party and how there was like this animated Darth Herbert and everything in 3D, one of the Nathan Thomas, I believe, animated that, and he's gone to do other things, but he has a bunch of animated shorts called Big Dinosaur that were made in Unity. You can check them out online. He's gone on to like animate in some of the Marvel movies and stuff like that. So yeah, Unity as a short film making tool is absolutely something that is that belongs. All right, for every 2D, let's see, yes, save. Okay, for every one of these 2D images, I need to create a material for that. So I'm just going to duplicate this material a bunch of times. Actually, no, duplicate it once and then call it by a name. All right. We're going to do mayor and change this image around. So you see how there is this flat image here of this guy. We're just going to replace the image with Mayor Cody. So now this is a new material. And then we're going to drag that onto here. So now the Mayor Cody is standing here in the middle of the town. And the nice thing is that because of the way that that Unity works with the light shining down, you also get the nice proper shadows going there, which is not always a guarantee, but it's a 2D cutout shadow. So yeah, that's that. Evyats is asking, almost no colors at all. Is it an intentional choice? I love the style. I would suggest to add a vibrant color to some small key components of the film. It is an intentional choice this time around. It's not completely black and white. As you can see, the sky is blue, and it's like it's very muted, but there are some very, very little bits of tones in there. There's a bit of a sepia tone on the screen to make it so that it has a little bit of that brown there rather than a straight gray. But it is an intentional choice. I loved the idea of using Unity and like 3D tools to make something that looks cut out and like it's storytelling, like a diorama from the 1930s or something like that, right? Like there's just I could absolutely use some color to make things pop, but I also like this style feels unique. So, oh, somebody is saying that my audio is low again. Okay, let me see whether or not I can adjust that anymore. Yeah, it has gone down some, hasn't it? All right, let me look. Testing, testing, testing. Is this still low? Okay. Is that better? It's been low. Okay. Well, I'll see what I can do. I'm not quite sure. I have the mic. That's better. All right. We'll work with that. Okay. Okay. So we have this scene here, and I have all these characters that are called Candlemaker because I copied this over from a different scene and didn't actually rename the characters. So I'm going to call this one Mayor Cody, but then I am going to, right now this says Scene A, I'm going to duplicate this and change this to Scene B. So they look exactly identical, but what I'm going to do is make a new material called Mayor Explains 1. Change the information on this again. Mayor Explains 1. And now in this version of Mayor Cody, we're going to give the Mayor Explains material. All right, so in the game, we now have Cinemachine Mayor, Cinemachine Crowd. Okay. So over here in timeline, what I can do is I actually am blending between these two camera states, close up and far away. And if I drag along here, this is how I choose how long my camera movement is, and I can preview what the camera is like. I'll be able to render this out later and render it with this version and also render it with this version. And then I can crossfade between them as he is trying to explain things to the different townspeople. So specifically, I'm talking about this scene over here. This invited the people of the town to a council meeting to determine what was going on, but the meeting went nowhere. People from each side of town accused each other of starting conflicts and fear-mongering. The mayor stopped the meeting before a fight could erupt, but everyone left the meeting with more suspicion of the people on the other side of town. So that is what's going to be replaced by what I just made. All right, Aaron Gaming Dev asked, why use planes when you can use quads? Not sure why I'm asking this, since they're pretty much identical, just a different rotation. Laziness. Unity has planes as a default object, and I would have to actually import in a quad, and I just chose not to do that because Unity already had planes. So that was entirely my reason. I could have made a plane in Blender, imported it in. I just didn't. So yeah, I'm pretty sure the Unity plane has enough mesh that it collects shadows a little bit better, or lighting differences depending on things, but I don't know if that applies to this short. Anyway, that was the entire reason there. Pleebout says, I really like that one guy with the giant chin and long nose. Yeah, everyone in this town, well, not everyone, because there's going to be some Kickstarter backers that will look theoretically a little more normal, but everyone looks pretty caricatured, which is intentional. And also, I'm not a good enough artist to do full-on anime or really realistic drawings that would take far too long. So yeah, that is the reason there. All right, so we have this, and all I would need to do now, there's a recorder track here. I could render this out. I'm not going to render it out on stream, partially because I don't think this scene is done. And here's what I mean. In the background here, he's supposed to be standing there. They're all supposed to be standing in front of the town hall. And the town hall is the only building in town that looks like this. But to me, this feels a little bit plain. I feel like there should be some sort of decorations outside of the town. And in fact, what I was thinking was something like this. I want a couple of large pots, decorative plants out in the in the world here. So I want to use the large plant on the left here. I want to use, hi Schwartz, I want to use the large plant on the left, the actual leaves of it. I like those big broad leaves, but I want to put it in a vase like what you see on the right. So I'm going to see whether or not I can quickly model that. Let's see if there's a way of showing this on screen at the same time as having Blender open. I mean, not easily, because I'm going to be flipping back and forth, and I'd like all my screen space. Oh, okay, I was going to show this. So this is not a hat. It looks like a hat, but it is not a hat. This is actually the town fountain. Over here is the fountain in town, and by using a transparent texture on the outside, if somebody was actually making this as an object in real life, it would probably be like a plastic bowl or something like that with lines on it, but it makes it look like water's coming from it without actually animating the water. There's very little that's actually animated in this short besides the camera movements. So yeah, that's that object. A little trick there. There's actually a couple of layers in there, and inside you can even see that there is in fact a fountain I probably could have hidden something in the fountain, but I didn't. Okay, we're going to go over to Blender, and as a reminder, I want to make this. So, let's see. Let us set. Let's see how fast I can model something in 3D. All right. Cursor, origin to 3D cursor. Nope. I wanted 3D cursor to origin. Cursor. Nope. Hit the wrong shortcut key. Cursor to grid, origin to cursor to active cursor. I don't remember. Oh well. Let's just do something like that. That'll get close enough. All right, we are making I want to say cylinder. Zoom in on it here. All right. It is a fine object, and we're going to put it in the center of the grid. Okay. And I'm going to just look at this here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We'll give it, oh, because I moved it. Yeah, all right. We're going to give it some loops, edge loops. About 12 of them. Sounds about right. All right. That'll work. Okay, scale up. Oop. Right, because it's going from the 3D cursor. From the center, scale Z. That looks, yeah, it's about twice as tall as it is wide, right? Yeah, okay. All right. Okay, so let us give this, there are other ways of doing this, but I am going to just do it this way. And I'm going to put this on the other screen beside me so that I can quickly get the shape that I want. All right. And come back. No, not that one. Oh well. All right. I think I may have lost my, oh well. I'm going to make a vase. And do something like this. I want the whole thing to be narrower at the bottom than it is on top. All right. Let's see. Something like that. This is not the type of thing that people usually stream because it tends to be kind of boring to watch, but here we are. All right. Now we're going to shade auto smooth. Okay. Shading flat means that you can see all of the corners and edges there. Shading it completely smooth means that you lose all definition in the corners here. Shade auto smooth does what I would often want to do in person anyway, and that is make it look so that it has, yeah, that's a good shape to it. All right. Now I want to give a little bit of an inner. You're not likely going to be seeing inside here very far, so I don't have to model it down very far. I'm not modeling the entire interior of this, but at least with something like this, if you see it from a distance, you can see that the vase has an inner lip to it. And I think I accidentally made an extra edge where I did not want to. So we're going to dissolve that edge entirely. Goodbye, edge. All right. I like that general shape for the vase. All right. Let's see. Dialga, hi. Any advice for a beginner to do 3D models? I tried, but that was a long time ago. So I'm using Blender right now. Blender, like 10 years ago, was a rough program to use. It was rather unintuitive. They kind of had their own quirks about it. It's a lot more in line with traditional 3D software now. It is free. It is open source, which means that it's never going to be something that's paid for or that has a subscription for. Try downloading Blender. Look up a tutorial. There's a tutorial up there that I was just looking at, a beginner tutorial where you make a cookie, and a cookie on a tray. And there's a famous one of like a donut as well. Just give those a shot. They're not that intimidating, and it at least gives you a feel of how to work in 3D space, how to move things around, how to model. There's all sorts of ways of modeling, and actually we're gonna go into UV editing right now. So yeah. UV editing. So to explain UV editing in 3D software, well, okay, think about how a globe, right? It's the Earth, but if you want the texture of the Earth on the globe, the texture is a flat texture. So how do you map that onto a globe? That has to do with what's called UV editing. So if I, oh, actually, that's looking pretty nice already. So what we're seeing here, I may just stick with that. What we see, this up at the top here, this is all of the faces around the vase. And then the bottom face of the vase is here. The top face of the vase is there, which is probably unnecessary because, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, I'm going to do a new UV unwrap of this cylinder projection. No, that's that might work. I might keep it as is. No, I know what I'll do. We are going to do a flat planar projection. Project from view. It looks like that. Oop. There. That will be good enough. Okay. So now all of the faces of this, let me see. Maybe I can put this into textured rendered mode here. No, there's no texture actually applied to it yet. That is okay. This will make more sense when I bring it into Unity. Okay. So I have a new object here. Oh, but all right, see how there's this point in the center, this dot, that is its origin point. I want that to be at the base of the vase so that it is easier to place later. So we're bringing it up. That looks good. Oh, this is, compared to the other objects, that is super tall. Yeah, I really don't want that to be the height of a house. I could scale it in Unity, but I don't want to. All right. Joy of Wolves asks, Chris, how are you doing today? I'm doing all right. I am attempting to multitask, and I am not the greatest at that, but things are going okay. I'm going to scale it. I want it to be cursor to selected. There we go. And then scale down to this cursor. What do you think? About... Okay, so it was before at the equivalent of 4 meters tall. I probably want this to be, I don't know, 2/3 of a meter tall. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, let's scale it down to about 0.17. That's gonna be about right. Yeah. Okay. We'll call this vase. Joy of Wolves says, I absolutely love your work, especially your music. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Chris, do you take commissions for game musics right now? Yeah, I'm still doing music commissions for people for sure. My website, screenhog.com, just contact me through there. I have a form. All right. So we're going to... oh, wait a second. What am I thinking? I have a vase and I have no plant in it. The whole point of the vase was to make a plant. Okay. All right. All right. Let's do that. Okay. Let's see. Simplest plant possible. All right. We're going to make, I'm going to say another cylinder. I'm going to give it 8 sides to it. I promise that there is a purpose behind this. And yeah, that'll work. Okay, gonna scale this down and then move this up. Okay. Now this doesn't look like a leaf yet, but this could be a leaf. So we're going to, don't need to do that in UV editing. Let's give myself the entire screen. Okay. Okay. Gonna move this, let's go back to median point. Gonna move this in. Gonna move these two in. Scale them in the Y direction a bit. Yeah. Yeah, that's looking good. Maybe a bit thinner. Okay. We're going to okay. Move this out. Let's do this out here. And move it out like this. Scale it down. Rotate it. Move it out like this. Scale it down. Rotate it. Okay. And what we have now is we have a leaf. Oh, yeah, vase, 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 vase. Yes, there are 2 ways of pronouncing that. I don't know which one is like better. I don't know. At center. Okay. That looks like a leaf. All right. Concentrate on your leaf. Let's see. Make this shaded auto smooth again. Points for anyone who recognizes what concentrate on your leaf comes from. Yeah, that's not bad. Okay, I'm going to call this leaf. And we're going to add a modifier to it. That modifier is going to be a subdivision surface. So subdivision surface means that the outer shape is the same as before, but it feels like it's a skeleton or a something that's manipulating a curved object of some kind. So this looks more leaf-like now. All right, we're going to rotate this now. Something like that, and then rotate it again in the Z-axis. That looks good, but I need to now change the position of things a little bit. Okay, and is that leaf coming out of the vase yet? No, it's not. It's kind of close, but we can just do that. Move it back in. Maybe do something like that. Yeah, that's looking better. Okay, gotta make more leaves. Woo! Exciting leaves. Ah. Let's rotate it around a surface. All right. Okay, that's looking pretty great. Let's do one more round of this. Scale it down. Rotate it around Z. Succulent, it looks like. Yeah, it does. It looks very much like that. I agree. Okay. Is that working for me? I don't like the placement of this one. It is not working for me. That's better. This one. Just play around how you feel like it. Channel your inner Bob Ross and make some happy little house plants. Okay. That's looking pretty good. I feel like it needs another one on the outside here. Something like this. Okay. Feeling good? It's feeling all right to me. All right. Orkun Khan Simsek. I'm sorry. There are some accents there that I don't know how to pronounce. I apologize. Will the short be 2D or 3D? The answer is both, in the sense that the backgrounds are 3D. And let me just go back here for any newcomers so that you know what I'm working on right now. Here are the backgrounds, but the characters in it will be 2D illustrations. And it has sort of a storybook style to it. So you have these, it's like cutouts in a 3D diorama. That is what's going on there. And right now I am making plant pots to go in the background there, which, I mean, I might do some playing around with them later, but I think I'm, you know what? I had a thought. Let's try something here and just make them all significantly bigger. Do I like that? I kind of do. That feels more, that feels good, right? And I can even go in if I want and make a couple of these have a bit of a different shape to them, because why not? Makes this a little bit more unique. If I rotate a little bit, then they don't all feel like they're the same duplicated leaf all over the place. This one, in fact, I kind of want to make this shorter entirely. Oop, I don't think I got all of the points there. shorter entirely. X. Yeah, that's looking good. Okay. All right. Oh, Plebouts. Isn't that technically 2.5D like Paper Mario? Yeah, actually. You could totally call it that. Uh 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 yeah, like the newer games like Origami King, which I've played all through that. That was a beautiful game. Yeah, that's Origami or Paper Mario is a good way of looking at it. Shimshek, thank you. Yes. Am I using grease pencil for the 2D illustrations? I'm not. I'm actually, and I'm not doing it in Flash either. I am using, might as well promote other programs too here, because if you're wanting to do something like this yourself, I'm using a program called Clip Studio Paint for all of the illustrations of this. And let's actually bring up so that you can see what's up here. Clip Studio Paint is, oh wow, it's just gone completely open recent. Yeah, so here's Mayor Cody. All right. But he has multiple layers to him. So this is the outline layer. Here's the shading layer. And here is the background color layer. I've found Photoshop could have been done for this as well, but I wanted the shading that Flash could not provide. And Clip Studio Paint, one, it's cheaper than Photoshop and doesn't require like annual memberships or anything like that. But also it feels more friendly for illustrators, I've found. And if you can get it on a sale, like this program for me costs like, I don't know, $40, something like that, with all the stuff that's in there and with the asset store that it has in it. It's made by, a lot of people are illustrating with it that are like anime illustrators and things like that. So there's all these texture packs and things. If you're looking for a decent illustration tool and are willing to put a bit of money towards it, I actually do recommend Clip Studio Paint. But yeah, and all of it, when I was doing the illustration, I don't know if you can see it here. I'll make it more visible, but this is how he started. So I drew it quickly in here, drew him to figure out his design, and then drew the black lines on top of it with the gray lines disappeared in the background. And then once that was done, I did the fill-in colors, and Plebout says, I use MS Paint, get on my level. You know what? No joke, MS Paint, some MS Paint artists are amazing. I used to be pretty handy with MS Paint back in the, Windows 95 days. But yes, no problems with that. But yeah, so Clip Studio Paint, great program. That is what I made my art in the illustrated art for this. All right, I am going to export this plant. I am liking it, I think. Oh, wait, let's select all of these. Wait, did I seriously? No one told me I called it Keef the whole time. All of these are named Keef. No one warned me. Now, okay, you know what? I'm going to leave it this way. Anyone who watched this stream will know that if they see this object in the background, all the leaves are named Keef. I don't know. One can be Keith Richards or something like that. Keith David. Okay, all right. Oh, no, I saw Keith being... Oh, that's why people were saying Keith earlier. Well, shoot. I wasn't paying attention. All right, you know what? I'm leaving it in. They're all called Keith. Okay, so we're going to parent this so that now all of the leaves are parented to the vase. We're going to select the vase and all objects inside. We're going to export to FBX because that is the 3D file format that that Unity takes, and we're going to call it vos. Limit to selected objects. Excellent. Okay, and now we're going to bring up. Sorry, I'm working on several screens here, so you're going to be annoyed with me for just a moment. All right, here we go. 3D folder, drag in my vase. So now, here is vase. It is tilted on its side because that's just a common thing of bringing things from one program to another. But here we go, vase. You know, after all of that, I think I did end up making it too small. It's doing the classic thing there. Something like that. Is that better? In the background, let's put it closer up and on the other side of the pillar. So I can see both at once. Let's do this. There we go. Okay, so I move it around. I can see the vase in the background. And the thing is, I'm going to want a second vase on the other side. Something like this. Is that a good size of vase? You know, it probably is a reasonable size, but since we're not going to be getting any closer to this, I don't know. What do you think? Okay. This is what it will look like in the final short. Is that good? Now, obviously, I don't have the texture on it, so let's just put a temporary texture on here. Is that texture really going to work? Yeah, it... no. See, there's different textures. Let's see if there's a good way I can illustrate this. Oh, I know what I'll do. So cobblestone. All right, I have on the ground here a cobblestone texture. But if I zoom in now on this vase, the cobblestone is wrapped around because of what we did with the UV editing. Yeah, it might look distracting right now because I don't have the right materials on it, but once the correct materials are on, I think it's going to look okay. I don't know. Maybe I'll just select all of these, put the cobblestone material on it, and see how that looks. Did that work? I don't think that actually worked. Material, cobblestone, just to see what it looks like. Yeah, that's not bad. All right, I'm gonna have to do some adjusting with that. It's just supposed to give a little bit of interest in the background, make the building itself seem, yeah. I don't know. I'll have to do some playing around with it. But we at least have it there. I'm going to move this back here. Let's move back into the scene so we can see how things are looking. Okay. Yeah, so that's basically a look behind the scenes of how this film is being made, and then everything's going to render out. I need to plug the Kickstarter once more, just because I really hope that some of you like this enough to send a few bucks my way for making this. Out of context, this looks like a PSA from the 1980s. Excellent. That's not a bad thing. I'm trying to actually make this stand out compared to most things you see on YouTube by not having the flashy colors, because when everything has flashy colors, nothing stands out. And I'm hoping, taking a chance that the unique art style of this will make it stand out, but we'll have to see what happens. All right. I am open for questions. They can be related to this short, or they can just be related to whatever we want to talk about, because I got a little bit of time here. Thank you all for showing up and checking out the live stream as it's been happening. I do appreciate it. Kickstarter finishes on August 17th, but I have late pledges enabled, so if you still want to be part of the credits of the movie about a month afterwards, there will still be something open for that. Let's see. Orkun asked why Unity instead of just Blender. I did answer this a little bit earlier before you got on the stream, but it's basically just because I have been using Unity to make stuff for like 16 years, so it's where I was comfortable. And with Unity, like the lighting and the shadows and various effects were so easily built into it. If I end up making other short films, I'm going to look into Blender for doing everything. But for this time around, I'm making things in a game engine because it's facilitated the art style I wanted to create. So that is the reason. Let's see. Anything else? Let me just make sure did I leave out anybody's questions? Somebody is calling me a professional for doing live streaming. Yeah, I don't live stream very much. I don't feel like I'm that great at it, honestly. Yeah, but I enjoy it, but I kind of have to psych myself up to do it. I am not a natural extrovert presenter kind of person. Yeah. Let's see. Any tips for starting drawing? Drawing, I mean, okay. Do not feel afraid about making mistakes in your drawing. Do not feel like what you are drawing needs to look perfect. Try just finding something in your house and go draw it in 10 seconds. Okay? Because suddenly you are like forced to just like scribble and go fast. And when you're done, it's going to look like a scribble. But the idea is that you're going to have a looseness to your drawing that you wouldn't necessarily have if you were trying to be all like meticulous, like I have to make everything look exactly right. Like, no, get loose with this. When I was in art school, for the brief amount of time I was, one of the things was gesture drawing, where somebody would be standing up and you would just have to draw them. And the idea is not that you're drawing the lines, the outsides of them. You're drawing the masses, the shape of what they are made up with. Right? Like the your head can be drawn as just like a quick circle. Your body, your torso, like those can just be. Try drawing somebody. Actually, this is good. Try drawing somebody with only circle and oval shapes, just to make you feel like you are getting the masses, like make the character have weight, not just the outline of the character. Another fun trick, if you want to see like what happens, because people when they're drawing, their brain can kind of get in the way of what they're doing. It's like, I know what a person should look like, and then you draw a person. That doesn't look like a person. So here's what you do. This is a trick from a book called Drawing from the Right Side of the Brain, which I recommend just finding the book. Find a photograph of a person. turn it upside down and then draw that. Like, try drawing the upside down version rather than the right side up. And for a lot of people who say, oh, I can't draw very well, the drawing actually turns out better, because instead of saying I need to draw an eye and a nose and an ear, what you're doing is you're drawing just the curves that you see. And the odd thing is that it actually tends to turn out a little bit better. I'm going to switch over here so that you can see all of my beautiful self. Yeah. So those are some tips. There are plenty others out there. I like, just get out and sketch. Everyone has 10,000 bad drawings in them. So get those out of the way, and then you can start making good ones. Yeah. Let's see. Blitzy Mouse, quick, draw Chris now. No, draw me upside down. Let's see. How can you contact me? Easiest way is I have a contact form on www.screenhog.com. You can contact me through there. My email is chris@screenhog.com if you want to go directly, but the form, if you send it through the form, then I kind of know that it's a bit more of a serious contact, generally speaking, although plenty of people have asked me Club Penguin fan questions through that, and that's fine too. Let's see here. Schwartz, making music or drawing, do you like doing one better than the other? I would say I like making music slightly more, but I like doing both more than either by themselves. If I do a lot of music composing, then I really like the opportunity of getting into drawing. If I'm doing a lot of illustration, it's like, oh good, I get to compose something again, when it's related to a client thing. I am somebody who is wired to like variety in the things that I am creating. So it's really both. Let's see. Who was responsible for the amazing Pizza Parlor music? The original Pizza Parlor music was royalty-free music. I believe it was called Charlie's Here, so if you really wanted to, you could just purchase it yourself for use in videos or things. There was other music that was composed for it. I mean, I made the Pizzatron theme, and later on there was some, like, kind of, I don't know, deeper, more candlelit sort of jazz music that I composed for it. Yeah, that was. But the original Pizza Parlor song was not mine. That's where you would find it. Let's see. Orkun asks, you like Futurama? Hello, my name is Zoidberg. Of course I like Futurama, why not? Yes, I mean, you know, not all the jokes land, but I find Futurama to be pretty funny, and their newer seasons from the ones that I've watched have been decent as well. Let's see. What do you think about piracy? Piracy is what we need for sailing the seven seas, but it's not talk like the pirate day yet, so don't make me do that. In general, don't pirate, but if piracy is the only way to, like, there are video games from 30 years ago that no one would be able to play now if it weren't for pirates keeping them alive. So when rights holders stop caring about it, for historical preservation purposes and for fandom purposes, I can see a bit more of a gray area there. The rights holders probably wouldn't, but I can see how that is useful. Not that I am endorsing piracy, but yeah. Let's see here. Where did you say I can buy it? The Pizza Parlor song. Just if you go to shockwave-sound.com, it's probably still there. Otherwise, do a online search for Charlie's Here, apostrophe in the word Charlie, like Charlie Brown. Charlie's Here, royalty-free music. You should find it. Let's see here. I think that is most of that, although I'm getting steadily more people who are coming onto the live stream. So for those of you who are just coming on now, you missed my behind the scenes of The Town That Cried Wolf, of where I was showing how everything was made. So after this is done, watch the video on demand on YouTube. Let's see here. I don't know. You know what? I have Clip Studio Paint open. Let's just randomly draw something. Why not? Is this a good idea? The microphone's totally going to get in the way. I don't care. We're going to make this happen. All right. Going to go over to here. I need a random... Blitzy Mouse, thank you for letting me know. Yes, congratulations. Yes, you're welcome. Draw Fry from Futurama. Oh, okay, so here's the question. Do I draw Fry from memory, or do I draw with like actual reference material? You know what? Let's do a quick, absolutely ridiculous version of Fry. Can I reposition things here? Can I do this? Sure I can. Okay. All right, so let's see here. Draw it from memory. Oh, this is going to be horrible. Okay. I feel like something like this. He has, right? They have the overlapping eyes, right? That's the Simpsons eye. Let's see. And I feel like he had. No, this is turning too much like Bart Simpson. No. Yeah. No, I feel like it was more like this. And it kind of had the classic matte graining underbite. Something like that. That feels right, right? Yeah, sure. Why not? Oh, I just randomly changed color. Yeah, I'm missing something important. Not sure what it is. I think his proportions are all wrong, but there we go. There's Futurama Fry. Okay. All right. That was fun. Okay. Let's see. I don't know. Is there anything else? Draw a Mario character. Ooh. I mean, let's see. I like Mario characters. Okay. I mean, there's the simple one. Of course. The classic Goomba. Which the way that I did it there kind of looks puffily. So, there we go. All right. That's fun. Yep. Goomba versus Puffle. Fight with no arms. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that was fun. All right. So let's see. Terrence from Angry Birds. The Angry Birds have names? Is this just from the movie? Is that all right, let me look this up. Angry Birds. Don't tell people that I spelled angry with an E. Oh, okay, I see what's going on here. All right, all right. Uh, yeah, sure. Okay. Uh, Terrence from Angry Birds. Wait, no, that's not. There we go. There. Done. Perfect. There we go. Quick drawings. Uh, let's see. If I look it up, it's cheating. I didn't know who Terrence was. Oh, well, somebody said about it's the big dark red one. Yeah. Okay. What is your favorite Batman movie? Gus Gaskew asks. um, so here's the thing: no live action movie is as good as Batman the Animated Series. I'm sorry. It's just hand down. So like I would pick any of the two-part episodes from the original animated series from then Feet of Clay, the Clayface episodes. That like I would watch that over any Batman movie. Um, I find and the entire 6 CD soundtrack is just online on YouTube now. Go check that out as a playlist. It is amazing. Um, Kevin Conroy, best Batman. Exactly. Kevin Conroy was amazing. All right. Let's see. Hi, Isa. Big fan here in Kelowna. Hey, I'm also in Kelowna. I'm wearing the shirt. All right. Let's see. I'm probably going to shut this stream down at around 3 p.m. here. So I should probably end it by actually talking about the film here, and promoting. Hey, there's a link to go and check it out where I describe it more. Description of this video. Go over there. Send a couple bucks my way if you can. That would be great. Or tell your friends that this exists, because launch date is October. Sometime in October, I'm going to be finishing this short film, so I'm going to be drawing everybody's characters, NPC characters, like a madman in September. Yeah. Um, Thank you, Koinum, for the word of support. Let's see. Is there any other weird little secret thing that I can show in here? Somebody was asking a few times earlier why I was using Blender. Another reason was because I knew I was going to have a big old wheat field, and I didn't want to have to deal with that many objects in Blender, and I'm not familiar enough with like crowd scene particles and stuff. So just Unity's terrain system to make the this is just grass texture that I reflavored to make it look more like wheat or something like that. And then the trees in the background, that was a big part of why I chose Unity as well. Yeah, so forgot about that answer to the do I have anybody else helping me with this? Coinum asked. There are other people. There's a small group of us. I should promote this here a little bit. We're called Rule of Cool Studios. And so we've worked on a few little game projects for various companies and stuff. We're kind of work for hire, but they've been kind of urging me on a little bit and providing some support in the early days of making this happen. But all of the content of the film, so the story itself and the animatics and the 3D models and the music composing and the narration and stuff, that is me. Gus asks if there's any Easter eggs in the film. Only in the sense that a bunch of the characters who requested so on the Kickstarter, they are characters in the town, and so each of them have the opportunities to ask for any little quirky things about themselves. Well, I guess I can say this. So one of the backers was actually Lance Prieb, creator of Club Penguin. He's still we still meet up. I saw him for coffee last week, and he said, or he is a character and a townsperson. So I have Lance, and at one point in the town, everyone gathers weapons, and so Lance is gathering a lance. And so that's a fun little Easter egg, I suppose. That would be a good one there. There's a few former coworkers of mine that are helping out or are backing this in various ways, which has been very heartwarming because then I get to draw people. Do I plan to do more short films like this in the future? Dialga asks. Yes. So there is an animatic that I made a few years ago called Delight that I would still like to make into a proper film at some point, although I want to change the ending around. I don't think it lands quite right. I have a short film that I first made like the storyboards for like 20 years ago almost now, called The Corn Farmer. And I want to turn that into a short film, kind of like, you know how Disney back in the day, or Looney Tunes, Looney Tunes would do Merry Melodies, Disney would do Silly Symphonies, I think it was, where they would take a piece of classical music and then they would actually animate to it. This is what I want to. I want to do that with the song Bolero by Ravel, and it's about a girl and a dog planting a cornfield, and for reasons that I will not spoil at the moment. But it's a big build up to a big payoff at the end. So that's a big project that I wanted to do something. Let's see. Is Lance the Club Penguin moderator staff that you keep in touch with the most? Any others? Well, some of them are also part of Rule of Cool Studios. There are some other ones that have started their own game studios that I've been doing music or video game trailer work for. I haven't seen Billy Bob Lane very much at all. I ran into Dave Crisco in the grocery store about 2 years ago, just randomly. So there's that. And a bunch of people are still in Kelowna, but a bunch of people have also scattered. Like, I know of one of the people who was working on the Club Penguin branding and newspaper, who's now living down in New Zealand. There's one who's working on game dev stuff in like the Middle East somewhere. There's and you know, some people are still in game dev. Some people have completely moved away from that to other industries. I only knew a couple hundred of the people who worked at Club Penguin. In reality, there's like over 1,000 in all the worldwide offices. But okay, let's see. Anything else? Any other questions that I haven't really answered? I do not know the name Animal well. Sorry about that. Have you seen the Club Penguin art on W Place? I don't even know what W Place is, so maybe I check that out after the stream is done. But I have not, though there are very cool Club Penguin pieces of fan art out there. Actually, well, no, I'll save that for later. I'm going to switch my OBS back over to this. All right. So we have, I think we're pretty much at the end of it here. Have you heard of the Woodpack tongue drum? Tongue drum is hard to say. Not necessarily, although, just a second, I do own a tongue drum. I don't know if this is the one you're thinking of or if you're thinking of a virtual instrument. Tongue drum is about the weirdest sounding instrument compared to what it actually is. But for those who do not know what it is one of these. So you actually, I don't think I can put this on stream properly, but so holding it up like this, it doesn't sound the best. But you see how there's all these little grooves in it? Those are the tongues. Like a steel drum, except a steel drum is like a bowl with flattened surfaces on it. And this is not a bowl. it's an inverted bowl. It's a squished sphere. Yeah. Is this instrument used in Minecraft? I think it might be. It's definitely good for underwater sounding music, beach sounding music, if you can play it well. Oh, I have hammers, so I don't know if this will sound right, but let's see what we can do here. Okay, that's a better indication of what this sounds like. I have been a collector of random music instruments in the last few years, and I don't use them often in my compositions, but occasionally. All right. Well, thank you all for visiting. I think I may be cutting this this stream short here, but thank you all for showing up. I do have more Club Penguin behind the scenes stories that I will be telling. I plan on at least telling you guys about Kart Surfer, Astro Barrier, and a few more of the songs behind the scenes. There's something that I want to do special for the 20th anniversary, but I need some other people's help to make it happen, and I don't know if it'll happen, so I don't want to say too much about it. Yeah. Anyway. Schwartz asked, could we get a Screen Hogs Instruments tour some other time? That's a good stream idea. That would be a fun live stream, I think. I will keep that idea in mind because I can play some of them well and some of them not so well, but it's a fun tour of instruments and things. Okay, well, thank you all for coming. Please check out the Kickstarter. There's 4 days left, I think. Glad that you were interested in what I had to talk about, and waddle on, all of you. Bye-bye.